important to underscore that he uploaded all this material voluntarily to the internet while he was serving as mayor. And since everything that a public official uploads to the internet is newsworthy, especially when it's perverted and depraved, that's an important fact to highlight. For one thing, Bubba Copeland was a deeply troubled man. Also, Copeland's last act was a choice that he made, a wrong choice, but a choice all the same. Now, that may seem too obvious to even say, but we tend to speak in euphemisms about these kinds of situations, and all of the euphemisms are carefully crafted to minimize or erase any degree of personal responsibility whatsoever. That's why the response to Copeland's death from pretty much everyone on the left who has commented on it, from activists on social media to elected officials to corporate media outlets, has been so depraved, but also so predictable. In our culture, which has long jettisoned any sense of objective truth or morality, Copeland is not seen as accountable for any of this. Instead, pretty much without exception, the left is blaming conservatives for this man's death. In particular, a small conservative news outlet in Alabama called 1819 News.
So he has issue with them being blamed for it. And he also went longer about how he wasn't actually outed because he posted this stuff online where it could be found and people could come see and talk about it. So it wasn't necessarily outing something he kept secret. It was just exposing him further to broad and more radical ridicule and hatred. Let's keep it real. So again, I get the collisions in his logic being Bubba Copeland's and actually what he went forward versus who he was. But at the same time, does that cause you to go after someone until they do what he then did? And do you feel better afterwards? Even if you thought it wasn't gonna happen, you would think afterwards, you'd say, maybe I should rethink my approach because I didn't realize, as the police said, that he would do such a thing. If you didn't, then maybe you have some remorse for this guy's life being lost, again, because of who he was. And though, of course, I was pushed off to the side. One more part here before we get out of here, because I want to play this last side, you guys, SOT 5, because this is where Matt Walsh actually does describe what is that was in some of the writings that he did. And I think there's an explanation behind it that a lot of times comes right back to our own society. Let's go to SOT 5 first, you guys.
Copeland also posted a lot of sexual content and encouraged others to take cross-sex hormones, even though by his own admission, he apparently wasn't taking them himself. Additional reporting from Redux revealed that Copeland had also allegedly posted several disturbing short stories and erotica online, including one piece in which he fantasized about killing a local constituent who runs a small business and assuming her identity as a woman. To be clear, Copeland used the identity of an actual constituent in this story. It was not a fictional person. He was openly fantasizing about killing a female constituent and taking her identity. This is the mayor of the town, just to emphasize.
So Trae, I have thoughts on that aspect of it, but there's the details if you want to have your response to that.
I mean, yeah, that makes it sound worse. Don't get me wrong, especially using a lady's actual identity. But, it all comes back to like the intense repression that he, faced because of his community and everything for years. So I still lay the blame firmly at the feet of the Lord, frankly, or, the Lord's followers in Smith Station, Alabama, as it were. But yeah, you see my stuff down there at Trae Crowder. Go to TraeCrowder.com, by the way, guys. Check out my tour dates. Come and see me. I'll be in Chicago on Sunday. A bunch of other places coming up. So
traveling guy. Sorry, I didn't get that on the top end. I was
That's all right.
Catch up with you, brother. Again, but that was exactly my thought. Our society then came after him because of that. He knew that. That's why he was hiding many aspects of who he was. And even in writing something like this should be an indication that if someone's fantasizing about taking another person's place in society, and it would be through violent means like what it was written about, that sounds desperate. Right. Sounds extremely desperate. Why is he desperate? Is he desperate just because Satan got in his head, or is he desperate because the society he's surrounded with is so hateful? Since we're talking hate and devil and all that stuff, just like God works in mysterious ways, sometimes the devil uses people to get his agenda passed. And if you're part of those folks who were part of a hateful campaign that got the end of what this devil wanted, which was Bubba Copeland's life, don't you feel like you're working for the devil? Just saying, since it's so satanic, you were part of this push. So yes, maybe could have been some manifestos behind him who could have become like one of these shooters that kills people because of some detachment from society or pressure or hatred that they're feeling. They still become violent. Whatever reason it is, it's bad. And whatever reason he wrote what he wrote, it's from bad places and maybe the way society affected him.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.